supposed to come with my associate James, who's got a fantastic instrument, but I have my two friend comrades instead, who have other magic instruments that I just brought back from a recent trip. Okay, I'll start with this one. The position of op. Oh, what's this? I'll explain. In certain situations, especially in politics, I take the position of op, the opposition. I oppose policies that encourage aggression. I pose for the people. I pose for the prospect of peace. I pose questions as a possibility for a dialogue of awareness. I pose positions, oppositions, in order to find solutions to satisfy the needs of us, the people of the world. You see things. I pose questions on the sustainability of the current system that we are surrounded with, which I see is breaking down. There's a recession, here's a victim, there's another one, there's one too. There's so many victims, so many of us who are oppressed. So let's not oppress one another on top of that. Let's not make the situation worse, but better. That's why I pose the question on the need for a pedagogy of the oppressed, as Brazilian revolutionary Paulo Freire said. These are my suggestions. This is my position, which clashes with the world's posh regimes, this is why I take the position of op, the opposition. Of course, there are other possibilities of positions which I am happy to take, but they are not in the field of politics. There are other kinds of poses, stimulating ones at that, and I am still wondering which ones, in this context, I should call the opposition of op. Which one of those ones that you like would you call the opposition? Now use your little... Hopeless. I'm actually silly. I had, in the last week, I had a publication in a magazine called Fountainhead. And then yesterday on email I found out I have another set of poems in a publication, in a book, which I haven't seen yet even. And I'm so silly, and I didn't bring the one I've got, and I don't know the one that I haven't seen yet. But, you know, that's how silly I am. From our stories. I want to write them down, the hidden stories in my mind. I want to write them down, those hidden stories which want to come out to light, to enlighten me about what I think, about my experiences, and all that has happened, all that has been done, about how we live together and how we get on with one another, how happy we are and how blessed we feel if we give thanks and if we think that we are grateful for. Yes, what is it that we are grateful for? This society built on violence, or the resistance, those who have always helped and fought for us to carve out a better life with equality and justice. So we have to honor the resistance always. We have to honor those who have compassion against oppression always. Do you recognize the terrible impact of the slave trade? Do you recognize that it has created capitalism and that it is not something to be grateful for, but that we must resist it? So we have to honor and join the resistance always. We have to honor and remember those who showed compassion for justice always. Those who were active and organized, those with compassion and courage, those who dreamed and those who died always. Because where would we be without them? And I want to write them down, those hidden stories. like rain. We're doing it impromptu, actually. So let's see who does. And you were so good at it. You were so expert at this. Like rain. Poetry may come to us like... Yeah, great. Poetry may come to us like words falling upon us like a shower of letters or so, like rain. Where we suddenly, almost instinctively get to know the right word, constellations, those configurations that would make up the next poem to rise in the mind and the soul from the rain of words, verbs, adjectives and nouns. Letters all around us. We are surrounded by letters, each with a meaning, or two, or several, depending on context, texture, configurations, and sometimes even this, figures, numbers, just like letters, our symbols of communication, our languages, cultures, contexts, and meanings. In these ways and in more ways than these, poetry may come to us like words falling upon us like rain. Words falling upon us like rain, and the finished poems like rainbows. Bridges across the sky, colorful they are, these bridges. Pathways, roads of conscience, creativity and life, reflecting everybody, every letter. Us as a people with ideas written into poetry, rainbows coming from a process of emergence like rain. Muchas gracias, todos. Moments to the key. Now, should I go for this one? Or should I never know. You know, I'm so silly. Anyway, moments to the key. There comes a moment when it is not clear which society you belong to, even if you left your old society that you were born into a long time ago. The moment will always come, and it is not only one moment, it is a multitude of moments. The question of where you belong comes to you again and again, the moments of uncertainty or assimilation or outspokenness or protest, the moments of widened or imprisoned horizons, opportunities or resignations, militancy or desperation will occur regularly. And it is over and over again a question that is connected to a multitude of issues and of where to find your allies, or should you not seek for them, of how to initiate dialogue against the grain, because there comes a time when you don't want to be on your own, when you need somebody to understand your story, whilst you know that this kind of understanding may be too much to ask for someone who has not been confronted with dislocation, though you know that this dislocation represents the keys to understanding, the keys to breaking down the structure of inequality globally, the keys to a passion and knowledge of the urgency of harmony. You know that harmony is by any means necessary, but harmony has many deep and rich and political and clandestine layers and textures which need to be revealed before it can be attained.
Wow.
Okay, sun, moon and surf. Talking about the planets. Actually, what's the female partner of Mars? Marseille.
That's supposed to be a joke.
Yeah, that's my joke. You know, because I was traveling from Spain into France, and this train was going to Marseille, and then I saw this Mars, you know, I thought, oh wow, it's amazing, you know, that's where Mars. Sun, but these are real planets, Sun, Moon and Stars now. The feeling of movement can rise as we rise with the Sun, the center of our living. Move with the movement of the Sun, slowly but steadily up and down. Where the downside is as beautiful as the upside, because we know we'll return. Each time like the sun shining, each time like the sun rising, each time like the sun shining, each time like the sunshine we are. Every time moving, progressing, every time moving on, progressing, each time like the sunshine we are. Or like the moon, not light in itself, but enlightened, illuminated, determining tides because light falls on us. We are enlightened because light falls upon us. We are. We are enlightened like the moon, or are we light itself like the sun? Or do we move between the sun and the moon, adding yet another motion, another dimension, another movement in space ourselves? Each time like the sun shining, we are. Each time like the sun shining, we are. Each time like the sun rising, each time like the moon shining, we are. Each time we are. Every time like the sun rising, every time like the moon rising, each time like the sun shining, each time like the moon shining, each time like the moon shining, we are. Between the sun and the moon are we, lost or conscious, or grounded on earth.
Wow.